Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll look in this scenario in which India becomes a world power. As you can see, they took over this disputed territory with China, which China occupied. And what do they do now? Well, their best plan, they will attack Bangladesh because they can. And so, we can see how they will invade. Will they invade in real life? No, but if they were a world power, that's expansionist? Yes. There's superpower Canada and Ukraine, but never India, which seems realistic considering India is the fourth strongest nation. A superpower is the strongest nation in the world, I guess you could say, but stronger than what you'd expect it to be as the strongest nation. Like a nation that's so powerful that no one can stop it, basically. Kind of like the British Empire or the French colonial empire, or, well, maybe the French colonial empire isn't a good comparison. With India demanding that Bhutan and Nepal join them, both of these nations agree on the terms, as there's nothing they can do. And India goes and annexes Sri Lanka. Lawfully, I guess you could say. And they also have these islands, don't forget. And so, they're going after Pakistan before China could make a formal alliance. Because at this point, there's no alliances. And so, they move in. With China not joining the conflict, as they can't at this point, it appears. As they're not ready for this and didn't prepare for this. Or is it because India would beat them? Who knows? With it being about the capitulation, if Pakistan capitulates at this time, India annexes it. As you can see, India is on the way to uniting the Indian subcontinent. And so now they're probably rebuilding this, getting the lands under their control more efficiently. But as soon as they start, an alliance pops up. Iran, fearing for its safety, signs an alliance with China. Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, North Korea, and Vietnam, they all join in their counter to India. With India moving up north. And so, as you can tell, we can see that it's already the fall of Afghanistan is starting, which is not good for Afghanistan, but somehow this is possible. With the Orange Alliance sending aid. But somehow it doesn't work, and they're confused. Until they realize India was hiding people in Afghanistan before this war started. And yeah, as you can tell, the agents and military people they sent in was ready to rebel at this point. They were the ones who took control of the aid sent in, and a lot worse things. With it being hard to get resources through Afghanistan, the superpower decides not to go further north, even though they could. But fearing this expansion, a few other nations joined this pact. It's called the Anti-Indian Expansion Pact. Yep, you can tell, it doesn't sound that great. But India starts making close relations to different nations like South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, at this point, Saudi Arabia, the Peninsula Shield Force in general, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Iraq, and so on. But this is where this fight starts, with India claiming that China's occupying its lands and such on, saying that this is part of this land, and they march troops in to establish what they claim this was. They claim that's the border, so they just move troops in, which leads to China to call this alliance to the war. Mongolia told not to join yet, but other nations are told to join right away. As you can tell, this is strategical, who they're taking into the war. And nobody realized that they were already prepared. With China not believing when they get this region to join the war on their side. Well, not that yet. With the China team trying to get lands now. Lebanon, Yemen. But as you can tell, Iran wasn't ready for this expansion, but they all knew this would happen because these were automatic joiners against them. With the attack on Iran being the first attack, with India moving troops up into this region just to defend the region, as they move troops over and they capture Tehran and they move north into this region that's barely populated. With them moving super fast due to being the strongest nation on Earth. With Iran basically being blitzed over. At the stalemate in the Himalayas. This is where the fighting breaks out into Myanmar. As India manages to take these lands and continue their southern journey. And so, yeah. With South Korea launching its invasion, and at this point, Japan tells Mongolia to join the war, telling them to look at parts of Mongolia, Inner Mongolia, parts of Manchukuo, and Xinjiang. And so they invade in this area first. Because they're invading through a desert. And somehow with 2 million people, they're managing to do this. As they split Vietnam in half, Taiwan lands here and here, which basically means China's having a civil war, has resumed. So yeah. With them not even attempting to control Vietnam, they're just holding on to it. And so, this is how it falls, like that. With India now ready for the Himalayan front, as the Tibet front breaks out. As India's troops manage to get through. With these lands falling as their allies are starting to move in from the west. And from the east, China's surrounded. Mongolia causes this to fall. With South Korea doing this, which causes this to fall, and so on, they take out that. With Mongolia moving in, it's starting to slow down their offensives, I guess you could say. But eventually this falls, and as well as most of the population starting to turn over to away from the government, leading to this area breaking away from the CCP, declaring the Republic of China. With the CCP unable to do anything. But yeah, and they fall. And now let's see what the peace treaty did to change the borders. Ended greatly. So did South Korea. Japan got a bit of land. Taiwan probably gained the most land by percent area. Azerbaijan in the Middle East gained a lot of lands, with Israel getting Palestine. Syria getting Lebanon. Saudi Arabia getting Yemen, and the rest get nothing, sadly. Except money, probably. With Mongolia being a main ally of them, China and all their puppets, as they have Thailand as a puppet and Vietnam as a puppet, they're a pretty powerful nation with 4 puppets, even Central China as a puppet. But eventually, after a few years of holding on to this, they give it over to China. And now China and Mongolia are in a competition as they're both becoming strong. Eventually, Japan annexes South Korea in a land trade, which They annexed South Korea and gave that to China. And so on, as we can see, eventually their puppets leave. They don't actually leave, but I'm discoloring them. As you can see, it's become different. The world has become very different. With that big of a hegemon in the middle of Asia, they're probably the strongest nation in the world. They make Russia look weak. They make America look weak. Oh wait, it's easy to make Russia look weak. Never mind. But Russia does have a lot of lakes. Isn't it interesting how this map includes some lakes, right? But doesn't include like the Russian lakes on the Finnish border, which is interesting because those are big. Where else is there a big lake that this map somehow didn't notice? Well, there's kind of not really big lakes. There's more lakes in Canada, in the US for sure. Like, those lakes I was just pointing out, they're bigger than this lake, yet they're not on the map. But yeah, that's all for today's video. Please like and subscribe. Also, thank you for watching this video, as it means a lot for the channel. And guys, thank you for being loyal and viewing this video. That's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out. 90 subscribe. 100 left to go till our goal. So please subscribe. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow. Not tomorrow, on Friday's video. So bye for now.